back everyone, I'm Steven here with Tiny House Listings, and this morning I'm out at my little cabin in the woods, and seems like a good morning to make some bread. So I thought I'd make some bread, and this recipe is actually going to be vegan. I'm going to cook the thing on top of the wood stove, which is kind of interesting. And when I announced earlier that I would be doing a video every day this year, one of the things, some of the videos will be cooking, and based around saving money. And the interesting thing about this recipe is you can cook a loaf of bread for about 30 cents. First thing you want to do is make sure you have a decent bed of coals going in your wood stove. It doesn't have to be a roaring fire. You actually only want it to about 200 degrees. And I keep a thermometer on top of my wood stove just so I can have an idea. And this right here, this original 200 degrees is just going to be to let the loaf rise a bit. Piper, hey. So this recipe is going to call for not a whole lot of ingredients, and it's vegan, and it's also gluten-free. You don't have to do gluten-free, but as you can see, I've already taken all the ingredients and put it in an old little sunflower bag, and that's what you can do the same. You can go ahead and make about 10 or however many servings of this, loaves, and keep them dry, and then add the warm water and the oil later whenever you're ready to make a loaf. So there's our mix. The next thing we want to do is add a cup and a half of warm water. And 2 tablespoons of oil. The recipe calls for coconut oil, but I think you can get away with olive oil. And that's what it'll look like when it's all mixed up and has the warm water in it. And this won't be like traditional bread. There's no need to knead. Next, you'll want a little loaf pan or something like that, and just kind of grease the inside to make sure it doesn't stick. All pretty basic stuff. Last year I did a video where I showed you this little camp style oven by Coleman. And it's really cool because if you have a tiny house that does not have an oven or whatever, you could put this on top. And it's also good for what we're doing today. Another way you could also cook, easily cook, probably better cook, is to use a Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven. But we'll just use this for today. Plus it has a thermometer on the front, which I really like. To speed things along, it would have probably been best to let this thing preheat while we were doing the mixing and all that good stuff. It's been 20 minutes and it looks like it has risen quite a bit. So now we're going to crank it up to 400 for 45 minutes. Is looking and smelling really, really good in here. I forgot to mention, of course you could put berries inside of this, you could put seeds on top, all that stuff too. But man, if this tastes as good as it smells, I'm in luck. One thing I forgot to mention before, if you do decide to, ow, this thing's hot. If you decide to cook bread like this on a Dutch oven, you'll definitely want to take, like you saw the pot that we put it in earlier, the loaf pan, put one upside down, right? And then put this one on top of it. Something to get it off the bottom, because if you do, it'll absolutely burn the bottom. I've even seen some people use like flat stones or something like that. No joke, seriously, this is probably the best bread I've ever had in my life. It's crunchy and fluffy. No eggs, no milk, no animal products. It's amazing. It's so good. You need to put some butter on top, maybe some coconut butter or something like that, or regular butter if you're not vegan. Anyways, best bread I've ever had. If you guys like this kind of cooking and these kind of videos, this style of video, maybe subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. But otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.